Welcome, everyone. Everyone. We'll get started in like 1 minute.
Don't need a license when you've got no drive. It feels so right taking the wrong advice. They tell me one day that I'll pay the price. They're saying maybe I'll go up in flames. Maybe it'll blow up one day. I know we're getting older, but that don't mean it's over. I know we're
Okay, we're going to
getting
go ahead and get started. We have a really quick, just 30-minute rally call, so we're going to jump right in. I am Kim Lane. I'm the Executive Director of America, the Entrepreneurial. We are so excited to announce our June call to action launch with you today. I'll tell you just a little bit about the campaign if we have any new faces here. So we started this campaign. I'm Kim. Victor Wong, the CEO and founder of Right to Start, and John Bridgeland, this founder and CEO of More Perfect, are the co-chairs of this campaign. And we started this effort because we have this amazing moment in America right now to restore entrepreneurship to the heart of the American story. We are using the America's 250th startup birthday as kind of this moment to take action because it's a great time to celebrate entrepreneurial spirit in America, but also to create lasting change. So we know that entrepreneurship creates jobs, it raises incomes, it strengthens communities, and it expands opportunity. But the issue is that 62% of Americans have a dream business in mind, and only 2% of Americans actually start their business. So there's a gap. Entrepreneurs create the majority of new jobs in America, but clearly there's an issue with actually getting started and growing businesses. The other thing we realized is that we've been building Right to Start for about 6.5 years, and there is so much passion for entrepreneurs across the country, but there hasn't been a good way to actually take action to support entrepreneurs. So we launched America the Entrepreneurial to create tangible ways to actually take action. So we wanted to create not just a campaign to talk about the entrepreneurial spirit, but a campaign to take action to support entrepreneurs, whether you're an individual or a government leader. So I wanted to just highlight that it's working. People are stepping up across the country to take action. The way we've built the campaign is that every single month there's a designated call to action. I understand that if you have been with us from the beginning, it may feel like a lot of actions being taken. And I just want to highlight that thank you for taking action and that it's actually working. So just a quick highlight. In March, our goal was to talk to your governor. Sorry, in March, our goal was to ask your governor to sign the Entrepreneurship Compact. So we work with governors across the country. We have this compact we're asking them to sign to prioritize entrepreneurs in their communities. We had this goal of getting 25 states where letters were sent to governors. At the end of March, we had letters sent across 33 states, and over 140 letters were sent. So we blew it out of the water on that one. In April, our ask was to ask your mayor to join as a founding mayor. So we've been really intentional about focusing the campaign on, like I said, government leaders and individuals. So mayors, governors, and individuals has kind of been the main focus points of the campaign. So in April, it was we wanted to have 50 mayors or county executives joining the campaign. We had almost 800 letters sent across the country from individuals to their mayors or county executives asking them to join. During that month, we had 54 mayors invited across 23 states. In May, the call to action was okay. So we created this national letter in support of the Governor's Compact on Entrepreneurship. And what we wanted to do in May was to actually create a way for entrepreneurs to sign their name and share their voice to something in support of this movement. So we thought, what if we could get 250 signatures on this public letter to support entrepreneurship? In just like 20 days, in just the month of May alone, we got 300 signers on this letter across 43 states. So I think that just the big picture that I want to highlight is it's been a lot of like metrics and tactics and one-click tools to take action, but it's actually working. So on the compact, we're working hard on the compact with governors behind the scenes, but we have multiple signatures on the compact. We now have multiple public signatures on this letter. And now I'm going to get into June. So, as I mentioned, we've been working with mayors. You all sent almost 800 letters across the country asking mayors to join. And then, in tandem with that, we were invited to go to the U.S. Conference of Mayors and speak on the main stage. So the picture in the top left is our co-chair, John Bridgeland, on the main stage of USCM with the USCM president, Mayor David Holt. So he actually chose entrepreneurship as his, like, he wanted to focus on that on the main stage at the plenary at USCM. So Bridge was on the stage saying, there's this opportunity called America the Entrepreneurial, and you can join as a founding mayor. So, and I also just want to give a public shout out to the whole Right to Start team who kind of pulled together to create this amazing booth experience. This is pictures of our booth. So at USCM, we had this whole moment of like mayors could come into the booth and sign up to join the campaign, and we would give them like a founding mayor swag bag. And it was so great because it became kind of this like whole experience for people. We would actually like cheer for mayors when they walked by. And by the end of USCM, this all happened like 3 days ago, last weekend. By the end, we had over 100 mayors who have joined the campaign as founding mayors. So, like, over half of the mayors at USCM had joined this movement, and they were actually excited to like put their pin on the map and take action. And that's just because of all of the momentum that we've built together through this campaign. So, like, we were able to say to mayors, this is America the Entrepreneurial. It's this huge national moment. Things are happening across the country. 800 letters were sent. You should join. It was like an easy yes. So, it's happening. It's all taking shape. Thank you to everyone who got us to that moment. So now that brings us to the June call to action. In addition to actually taking action, we want to convert all these actions to actual change and kind of like public visibility for entrepreneurship. So in June, leveraging from the momentum from USCM, we want to ask mayors to issue proclamations in their cities supporting entrepreneurship. So we've developed a whole template for an America the Entrepreneurial Proclamation. Our goal is to have 100 invitations sent in the month of June, asking mayors to issue these proclamations. So we actually have already had several mayors issuing proclamations. I think we have pictures on the next slide. Whoops, sorry, I'll go back to that one. So what is a proclamation? And we'll get into this deeper in the coming minutes. But proclamations basically are just a visible way for a mayor to champion entrepreneurship at its most basic level. It gives your mayor a way to visibly support entrepreneurship, signify that entrepreneurship is important to your city's future, and commit to actually doing something to support entrepreneurs. So just like as an FYI, at USCM, when I would say you can become a founding mayor and you can issue a proclamation, it was like, sure, we actually, Mayor David Holt, the president of USCM, has already issued a proclamation, and we had it printed and we were just handing it out to people. And it was like a very easy yes from the mayor. So now that we have this big group, 100 plus mayors on board, we want to now convert that to public recognition of entrepreneurs. Okay, so here's just a little snapshot of proclamations so far. So in Columbia, South Carolina, Omaha, Sacramento, Oklahoma City, and Columbus, we already have proclamations, which is fantastic. A lot of these were led by our grassroots team, or you all, or everyone who's taken action to say, here's a proclamation, can you please issue this? And many of these were public moments. You can see the bottom right, that's Cameron Law, our coalition manager in Sacramento. There's a whole photo op with the mayor, and here's the proclamation. So we want to see these happen all over the country in the next few months. Okay, and so on that point, I'm thrilled to welcome Mayor Betsy Hodges, the former mayor of Minneapolis, to the stage. Mayor Hodges is known as one of the most entrepreneurial mayors in America. She is on the National Advisory Council of America, the Entrepreneurial, and now she's actually on our team to support this work with mayors. So we're thrilled to have you here, Mayor Hodges, and just to talk about what actually is a proclamation, why do these matter, and how can we take action to make these happen across the country.
Well, hi. It's great to be here, and it's great to be part of this whole effort, and thanks everybody for being here. I mean, you all know why entrepreneurship matters. It's the job engine. It keeps money circulating in the community. It's why I worked on it as mayor, as I knew. It's also a very stealthily, it's one of the best racial equity policies a mayor can work on, and we can go into that another time. But it's really important for mayors to sign on because it gives them a container where they can place this part of their platform. It opens up networks of support that can drive their agenda and their vision forward. Like, this is good for mayors. We know that it's good for entrepreneurship, but it's also good for mayors, which is useful to remind them of if you're having a conversation with them. And proclamations matter. Often they get dismissed sometimes in communities. Oh, that's just it's easy to just put that out there and then you just never think about it again. But, they feel good. But first of all, they do feel good. It's good to have people feeling good about entrepreneurship in your community. But for the mayor, they log a documented commitment to entrepreneurship and to the entrepreneurs in their community. For the entrepreneur, it sends a signal, oh, my mayor actually cares about this, which can get some energy going for them. For the whole ecosystem, it creates a new center of gravity, understanding that you have a partner in City Hall, you have a partner in the mayor's office. For the community who may or may not be aware, everybody's aware of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship because we're interacting in that world, every day. But it raises awareness about the importance of the container of support that entrepreneurs have in their own communities. And a proclamation is a starting line. It's not a finish line. So it's important to think of it that way. Like we want to have the starting line. We want everybody to cross over so that they can start not the race that's never finished with entrepreneurship, but we want people to be able to start. We want people to be able to start.
I love it. So in terms of like this is basically the first step. They've joined the campaign. We're asking them to issue a proclamation. When we chatted previously, you mentioned just by issuing a proclamation, it kind of creates it changes the landscape because they've publicly said something. Can you speak more to that? Like what impact does it have when they do something public like this?
I mean, when I was mayor, if I issued a proclamation, not just, oh, I support this place or whatever, but if I issued a proclamation, sometimes it was the council does a resolution, whatever the city calls it. If I say I support entrepreneurs, there's now and it becomes part of the city record. I mean, these are official documents of the city. It means there's a documented place where I've said this, that I can be reminded of it. I don't suggest going in with an adversarial spirit, but if a mayor at some point needs to be reminded that they made this commitment when there is something on the table that they have to consider for entrepreneurs, it's useful. It's useful to have that in the environment. And for the reasons I said, it also changes the mindset of the mayor, right? If I've signed something, it's like, uh-oh, I signed that. Now what? Now what do we do? It's a prompt for me to make sure that my team is on board with whatever I've signed and that they are going to be able to move the ball forward along, with my leadership. But it can also change the mindset, as I said, of the community, of the entrepreneur themselves, and everybody in the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Great. Can you speak a little bit? You said that this is actually a good thing for the mayors, which I think is good framing when we're making these asks to mayors. Why is this good for them?
I mean, if they don't yet have the full picture, that detailed picture of why entrepreneurship is important, this helps give it to them. That what entrepreneurs do for their cities and what entrepreneurs do for their residents and constituents is huge. And but often a mayor has at least a loose platform around supporting people who are trying to invest in their city in one way or another. It's part of economic development, it's part of commercial development, it's part of any policies they have about job creation, about the various sorts of disparities that they have in their community, that a better economy, more money circulating the economy, more owners, business owners, et cetera, et cetera. They generally have platform items around that. They have items on their agenda that they want to be involved there. But sometimes in the business of day to day, if they don't have a structure, if they don't have a plan, if they don't have a partner to work with on that, it doesn't come to the top of the pile. If they haven't given it to somebody on their team and said, you're going to be held responsible for this, it doesn't move to the top of the pile. And so this allows for that, right? This allows them to have a container, a partner, a set of resources that can help them move something forward, a vision that it's not as hard as it thinks. You don't have to start from ground zero. America the Entrepreneurial has already done that, a lot of the initial work for you. Now you get to take the ball and carry it. So that's good. That's good to have in hand.
Wonderful. And could you walk us through what's actually in the proclamation?
What's in it? That entrepreneurship is part of the American fabric, and therefore part of the fabric of the city life. Reasons why entrepreneurship matters. That's good. We all need to hear that over and over and over again as it sinks in even more deeply. Everyone has a role to play in supporting entrepreneurship. Everybody in the city. And it agrees to take action to celebrate entrepreneurship and encourage entrepreneurship. And that's very loose in the proclamation, which is fine because it will be, it's followed by action tailored to what makes sense for that city at that time.
Great. And then shifting our focus to equipping people with the tools to do this, what's your advice for how to actually ask a mayor to issue a proclamation?
My first bit of advice, if you're going to talk to a mayor about anything, is remember that they are human beings with a heart for service. Even if you disagree with everything they've ever done, or supported or not supported, they still have a heart for service. A lot of times people would forget I was a human being when they were approaching me about something that I had neither said yes nor no to, but
Mhm.
yet. But I think people got worried I'd say no, and so they really came in. But that meant they forgot, hey, I'm a person here. I'm meeting with you, or I'm interacting with you, whether it's email or what have you. And that to remember that this is actually an offer for the mayor, it's not a request. You are offering the mayor something good, right? The opportunity to show leadership, to live out their platform, to live out their values. You're not handing them a plate of a bad day. Lear, I'm going to hand you a plate full of a terrible day. You're handing them a plate of, here's stuff that's good for you. It's an offer, it's not a request. You don't have to go hat in hand. And then tell them why you care about it, why you believe they care about it. If they've demonstrated that they care about the issue, if they've talked about it at any point, if they have already done some leadership in this area, be grateful for anything they've done, even if you have to stretch to believe it, because mayors love to be thanked for it's a tough job. And they get held accountable more than they get thanked. Uh,
Mm.
and that you're asking them to take this action, or you're offering this opportunity to take action so that they show entrepreneurs and their community that the mayor supports them and commits to elevating the city's environment for them. Really, you can really frame it as this offer. You get to do this thing, and by doing this thing, you get to support all these people. You have a heart for service. That's why you're here. And follow up a few times. They're very busy. Don't be afraid to follow up. If you know that there's a staff person who they're going to be working with on this, if you've gotten that information one way or another, feel free to follow up. But don't, it's okay to follow up a few times. They have a million things coming through their inboxes every day. And following up, as long as it's respectful, following up a few times. Hey, I have this offer on the table, would love to get an answer. Hey, is there somebody on your staff that I should communicate with about this, or whatever it is? Following up a few times is just fine.
Fantastic. And final question. You've personally done so much to support entrepreneurs, particularly when you were mayor. What big picture, what change did that have? Like, why is this important?
You say big picture, but the small picture I'll give you is there's no longer a regulation requiring a jukebox license in the city of Minneapolis, right? One of the things that I did was this scan of what was the regulatory environment and the process and procedural environment for entrepreneurs in the city, and also did focus groups talking with entrepreneurs, in small groups. And I found out so much data. And the big picture was, now there's a form that they get when they come to the city and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business here. There's more stuff for solopreneurs, there's more stuff for people just working out of their homes as well, but you get a list of what you might need to think about depending on your situation. The zoning department and the planning department actually talk to each other more fully now, because the disjuncture between what's required if you have a building, for what's required for a building and what's required for the actual operation of your business, they weren't talking to each other, which was creating a lot of problems. But we got rid of, I think, in the end, it was maybe 35 or 40 ordinances that just were outdated, but people were having to navigate anyway.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mayor. We're thrilled to have you on our team helping us lead these efforts. I'm going to now, thank you. I'm going to transition to our next guest is Greg Teven. He's the co-founder and CEO of Emerging Prairie. He's a Right to Start ambassador. Um, Greg, in the last month alone, you have asked not one, not two, but three mayors personally to join America the Entrepreneurial. And then you not only asked them to join as founding mayors, but they all three joined. And then you had them all three on stage together, championing entrepreneurship. Here is the photo. Can you walk us through how you made that happen and why?
Sure. I was just going to take a quick photo and send it to our mayor. So if anybody would be kind enough to do that. Uh,
The
sure.
photo.
Well, hello, everybody. Great to be here in the great state of North Dakota. I'm a beneficiary of so many folks on this call and in this movement's work. Mayor Hodges, I'm a University of Minnesota grad. I once rode a cab with Gary Cunningham, who I think you know, at a Kauffman Foundation event. So fun to share the stage with you. Back to your question, Kim. I live in a community. Fargo is a large city, the largest city in North Dakota on the eastern part of the state. And then Minnesota is next door, and Moorhead, Minnesota is a relatively smaller community in the broader landscape of Minnesota. We're really grateful that our mayors of both Fargo, West Fargo, which is a growing metro, and then Moorhead do a lot together, whether it's permanent flood protection, whether it's some collaboration. We've hosted them throughout their 10 years. So we started from a position of strength with relationships with both the mayors themselves and their city management or their city leaders. So one of the things that we've learned working with government officials is they generally want three things. They want full rooms, they want great photos, and they want earned media. So for years, we always try to invite them to engage when we've got a full house. We believe in giving our wins away, giving them that visibility. So when the request to engage the mayors in this movement came out, we brought them that opportunity. So we communicated to all three of them at the same time, informed the situation. Luckily, they had met Victor. Victor came to Fargo and spoke at TEDx Fargo about this whole idea last summer. So there was a little bit of connectivity to past experiences. Um, and then we invited them to be part of the movement and just said, hey, we'd love to have you kind of make that commitment publicly in an environment. So we were the largest 1 million cups in the nation for many years, and for a couple of reasons decided to create an independent platform with a very similar purpose called Startup Brew. So we just said, hey, in the next 6 weeks, what date works best for you? So we scheduled around them. I think a lot of times people make the mistake of with mayors, you invite them to a time that works for you. And certainly there's times that's important. We had the privilege of just saying what works best for you. And once we got one, in this case, Mayor Carlson in Moorhead, Minnesota, we worked on the other two, made the call, said, hey, she's coming. So got them to commit,
Right.
got them on the stage. And then what we did is we told them we would do two things. One is we'd give them the opportunity to share why entrepreneurship matters in their community and have a couple success stories ready. So they made the proclamations, and then they each spent some time celebrating the people and the entrepreneurs in their community. And then the second thing we did is we did the press along with Right to Start. So we shared with Right to Start, hey, we'd like to co-create a media awareness document and then a press release. And giving them the earned media opportunity, working with the mayors and their quotes. I'm not sure we hit on any press that was transformational, but just that process of being proactive, I think led to them coming to the event, saying yes, following up with photos, following up with amplification, some of the things Mayor Hodges said on appreciation, thank you. It's allowed us to do all those things.
Fantastic. Is Startup Brews like the beer version of 1 Million Cups?
It's in the morning, so we have
Oh, it's in the
coffee,
morning.
but
Oh, brew,
yeah,
coffee
it's
brew.
it's
Okay.
like the exact same framework as 1 million cups. We have a belief that legacy leaders actually help. We've had the same organizing team for like 14 years. And so we've maintained consistency. Kauffman has a desire to switch, and hey, that's great. Every model can be different. We just tweaked it to what works with our
Got
community.
it. Got it. Off topic question. Great. So just quickly, I think just like a couple of quick questions. One is, so that initial ask to the mayor, what were you asking them to do? Like what was your hook?
Oh, we just said, hey, we believe in entrepreneurship, right to start as an organization we trust, we've engaged with. Here's what they're putting forth in the world. Would you be willing to participate and sign off? And like anything, you get the first yes, then you let the other two know that hey, these folks are interested. So it was really, we trust right to start. Here's what they're doing. Here's why it matters. We want you to represent our community in this movement.
Great. And why do you think, I mean, you're famous in the entrepreneurial grassroots space for your ability to convene massive groups of people and even pull in policymakers. I remember 15 years ago, 14 years ago with 1 million cups, how you would have like the governor join one MC. Why is this important to you, and why is it important for people around the country to use this model of bringing public leaders, asking mayors to join the campaign?
Yeah, well, I disagree on the famous part, but I'll answer the questions. Um, Policymakers matter. They impact our daily lives. Um, I really believe one of the beauties of being in a two-state multi-community metro is that we have multiple parties represented. And I think the more we can elevate elected officials that come from different parties to do things together, I think it's a great example. I believe in collaboration. I believe in bipartisanship. This is an area to do that. The second thing, um, the second thing is I think so many programs have paywalls in front of them. So we always try to bring the policymakers into the public because people engage with them. We don't charge for our events. We have all this stuff, and so bringing the policy leaders in front of a crowd to do an announcement or give them some sort of role to be there creates the space for the private discussions. So, for example, we're doing the same thing with Governor Armstrong. We got him to sign this. He's going to be coming to Startup Brew in June. He's going to do the welcome. He's going to tell people he made the commitment, but he's going to be with entrepreneurs for an hour. And we want that. We won't tell the community that the governor's coming. I think so often an elected official comes and then you promote. We
Mm.
like our audience to discover that they're there. It takes the intensity on the politics out of it and more honors the elected official.
Smart. I love it. Okay, I have a million more questions for you, but unfortunately, we have 2 minutes left to show people how to take action. Greg, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your amazing efforts to champion this in so many real ways with governors and mayors. Thanks, Greg. So now the question is what to do. We've developed simple tools to ask your mayor to issue a proclamation. I do want to highlight one thing Greg said, which was how Right to Start helped amplify his amazing leadership. We want to do that for you all too. So whenever your mayors issue a proclamation or agree to, we want to be looped in because we want to make sure we're highlighting this visible commitment across the country. I'm going to hand it over to our Director of Operations, Morgan Allen, to walk us through how to take action.
Amazing. Thank you, Kim. If you have participated in past CTAs, you are likely familiar with this tool, but it's got a little bit of a different twist. So in our system quorum, you'll be doing the automated email to your elected official. So you'll just put in your name, your address, and your email, and it will automatically pull up your elected official. So that's why we're requesting your address. If anyone is interested in Crawfordsville, Indiana City Hall, there's the address for you. If you do not have a mayor, it will pick up your county official. So no worries. Your county officials can just issue a countywide proclamation. We do encourage you to make the email a little bit personal, though. Explain why entrepreneurship is important to you, why it's important to your community, and pull on some of those strings that Mayor Hodges and Greg shared earlier. We will drop the link to the campaign in the chat, and you'll also get the follow-up email per usual. If you want to go above and beyond, as Mayor Hodges said earlier, sometimes it takes a few times to make sure that a mayor or their staff sees the request. You will get a toolkit when you send your email with just a few steps of how to actually make this happen. So like Mayor Hodges said, give them a few days for a response, but then be sure to follow up. There is a draft follow-up email for you available in the toolkit. When they say yes, as Kim said, our team wants to be here to support you. So make sure you're looping in our policy email, We'll make sure that all of the information is correct and that things are getting moved forward. Step 3, show up. Even if there isn't like a big fancy celebration, usually a mayor wants to present the proclamation to someone. So as our grassroots person, we'd love for you to show up and make that happen. And the last step is making it visible. So we would love to amplify you on our national channels. So be sure to tag America the Entrepreneurial for a chance to be featured. So on that note, back over to you, Kim.
Great. Thanks, Morgan. So to recap quickly, we've built incredible momentum over the last 4 months. We have over 100 mayors who have joined our campaign already. Now we're converting that commitment into real visible action through proclamations. We will follow up with this tool for action. Our goal is to have 25 proclamations across the country. And to do that, we want to log at least 100 requests for these proclamations over the next 20 days. And then just highlighting again what Mayor Hodges said, it's not just that one click, it's more of forming this relationship with your mayor, following up, making sure that they know how important it is to support entrepreneurs in the community. And we are here to support you after you ask them to issue the proclamation. We'll be here with you along the way. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining the campaign and continuing to take real action, which is driving real results. And together, we're building a more entrepreneurial America. Thanks, everyone.